All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Finance Committee to order, please. Mark, are there any public speakers?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there are three. We will start with Jason Anthony.
Do you forgot that I was standing here doing transit and I said hello to you this morning? And you were so distracted looking elsewhere while I was speaking this morning? That was pretty shameful. That was ignored by your honorable that was speaking this morning. But anyways, our Honorable Governor Hochul has announced no fare and toll increase for this year and for 2023 and 2024. Yes, that's good news for essential workers. But I want to ask Bob Ferran and yours truly, Lawrence Schwartz, one single thing. Workers like me that work in Amazon in Staten Island depend on a crowded bus that departs St. George Terminal to get us to work. That bus is so crowded that you guys are wasting money instead of giving it to Amazon that has money like crazy that could operate it instead. So why not enter an agreement with Amazon that could provide shuttle bus service from the ferry terminal to every single facility in the West Shore? That could save the agency money. So why not do it instead? I'll see you guys in the next meeting.
Thank you. The next speaker is Lisa Daglian.
Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Dagley, and I'm the Executive Director of the Permanent Citizens Advisory Committee to the MTA PCAC. Riders got great news from Governor Hochul and Chair Janno Lieber this afternoon that we won't see fare hikes or service cuts in 23 and 24. That extends the fare freeze past the 2022 decision that you had already made correctly. And keeping service at the highest levels possible is critical to getting riders back on board subways, buses, the Long Island Railroad, and Metro North. The federal infrastructure bill brings a host of benefits to our region. Riders and the economy in general will see the results of the billions of dollars coming our way thanks to Senator Schumer and his colleagues who voted yes in the Senate and the House. This afternoon's bill signing at the White House should mean that there is enough breathing room so we can focus on getting back on track and back on board as we continue to recover from the pandemic. We still need to continue to keep looking for more dedicated operating funds so that we aren't put in such a difficult situation going forward. We'll continue to work with you on that and with our elected officials in the state. And we'll continue our advocacy efforts for much needed sustainable funding options in the long run. We're hoping that we can, that additional funding will be coming through Build Back Better, but we're going to hope for the best on that. And we think today is a great day for riders and for the region. So thank you.
Thank you. The third and final speaker is Charlton D'Souza.
All right, everyone. The president of Passengers United, and yes, we have good news. There's no fare increases. That's great. Now what we need this board to do is we need you guys to pass Freedom Ticket so Long Island Railroad and Metro North commuters within the New York City limits can have more options. Because as you guys know, the buses and subways are very slow, they're dangerous, and I work overnight. And a lot of us don't really want to ride the subway and spend 2 hours in the system. So if this board can get Freedom Ticket and, they can make the Atlantic ticket cheaper, I'd suggested $45 for a 7-day unlimited for the subways, buses, and commuter rail. That would be great. And again, also there should be, now with congestion pricing coming in, you guys are going to have all this extra money. And a lot of people, are not coming back because a lot of offices have switched, they're doing hybrid. So y'all need to look at that. And also, I want to say that this finance committee meeting should be on hybrid and on Zoom as well, because a lot of activists and a lot of us want to speak, and that would be a much needed improvement. In terms of NICE bus, Nassau Intercounty Express, a few years ago that was taken away from us, and we need Long Island bus back in the MTA. So we need that, serving the Nassau County, Suffolk County region and Queens region. Now that we have all this extra money, we would love to have Long Island bus back. You don't know how hard it is, because even though people pay the MetroCard, the unlimited MetroCard fare, the MTA is getting 75 cents per dip on a nice bus fare box. So you guys are still making money from Nassau Intercounty Express. So it might as well just be Long Island bus. And thank you so much, guys. Hope to see you the next month.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes the speakers.
Thank you, Mark. Next, we have the approval of the October 18th minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, minutes approved. Mark, can you take us through the work plan, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there are no changes to the work plan. The next item on the agenda is Budget Watch and Finance Watch. Consistent with prior years, there's no Budget Watch presentation for November. On Wednesday, Jay Patel will present to the joint session of Finance and the Board the final proposed budget and November 2022 budget and financial plan for 2022 to 2025. That having been said, we do have Finance Watch. I'll turn it to Pat McCoy.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Finance Watch appears on page 18 of the committee materials this month with just a couple transactions to report. On October 27th, we completed a remarketing to fixed rate mode of TBTA General Revenue Variable Rate Bonds 2002F and the subseries 2008 B2. This transaction resulted in an all-in true interest cost of 1.179% on a combined basis for the full 164 million of bonds that were offered. Next, we have just a note that letter of credit extensions were successfully negotiated with TD Bank for 2 subseries of bonds, and those are in effect now. Just a quick update on our upcoming issuance of $4 billion of MTA grant anticipation notes, Series 2021A. We moved the pricing on this to December 1st, and we're expecting to close this transaction on December 9th. Things are moving forward with that. We've had discussions, very good discussions with rating agencies and with our working group on structuring, so that is going well. Lastly, we have a fuel hedge that was executed on October 25th. This is our standard fuel hedge. Our monthly amount of about 2.8 million gallons of ULSD was locked in at a price of $2.28 per gallon. And this was obviously competitively bid with our normal counterparties, and the winning bid here was submitted by Merrill Lynch. Happy to take any questions if there are any.
Thank you, Pat. Moving on to Section 6 of the agenda, headquarters and all agency items. We have 2 action items for headquarters, and the first will be introduced by Pat McCoy again.
Okay, thank you. This staff summary is seeking approval of contracts with the Advisory Team of Public Resources Advisory Group, or PRAG, together with Backstrom McCarley, Berry and Company, a New York State certified MBE, and Sycamore Advisors, a New York State certified WBE, to provide general financial advisory services to the MTA and TBTA for our capital markets activities. In addition, we're seeking approval of Mohanty Gargiulo, a certified WBE firm, to provide swap advisory services and to serve as our qualified independent representative, or QIR, with respect to all derivative matters. Both of the recommendations here are to retain incumbent providers who've been doing what I would characterize as a very excellent job, and so I seek approval of the staff summary accordingly. Happy to take any questions.
Any board members have questions? If not, I'm going to make a motion to approve. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, motion's carried.
Thank you.
The second action item will be presented by Frederica Cuenca.
Okay. Good morning. Good afternoon. In this action, we are requesting board adoption of revised advertising guidelines. Advertising is an important source of revenue to support MTA's operations and enabling the MTA to provide better service to our customers. Through our advertising standards, the MTA seeks to maintain a secure, safe, and welcoming environment for a multicultural, multi-ethnic, and diverse ridership, including riders who are minors. The MTA periodically reviews its advertising policy and makes changes to meet the interests of those riders and employees. The revised policy makes slight adjustments to the definition of permitted advertising and several changes to the categories of prohibited advertising. In crafting and applying its policy, the MTA always bears in mind the standards of the First Amendment, which govern its advertising space as a non-public forum. So we recommend these guidelines for your adoption.
Does anybody on the board, Finance Committee, I'm sorry, have any questions? David?
Tell about the changes.
Yes, so in these changes, we have revised the categories of prohibited advertising, including our approach to sexually explicit and other graphic advertising, and providing definitions of forbidden political speech. And we've also extended the provision forbidding advertising of alcohol and tobacco to cannabis.
Any other questions? I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Next, we move to information items. There are two information items that do not require a vote of the committee. The first item is the station maintenance receivable update for the period of April 2020 to March of 2021. The total amount billed was $178 million, and it was received in full as of September. There's no balance due. Jim McGovern is here to take any questions. Okay, hearing none. The second information item is the review and assessment of the Finance Committee charter. The Finance Committee charter establishes the purpose, authority, membership, meeting schedule, and reporting requirements and the responsibilities of this committee. It's provided to you here as an information item. There's no recommended change to the charter, and the Corporate Governance Committee will be meeting later today at 3 p.m. to review and consider it for approval. That concludes information items. Now we'll move to the procurement portion of the agenda, and Kavesh Iyer.
Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon, Commissioners. MTA headquarters has 3 procurement items for this month. The first action for $6,165,163 is a modification to a non-competitive miscellaneous service contract with KD Analytical LLC for the continuous maintenance, support, and related services for the MTA's Protect chemical detection system. I submit this item for your approval.
What is the modification, Kavesh? What came up? What was the reason for it?
So the reason for the modification, Chair, is this is a highly specialized services that are provided for the MTA's system to detect any form of chemical infiltration into certain aspects or certain areas in the MTA's premises. We are now modifying the contract with this particular company, KD Analytics, to extend that. They are the company that provides this highly specialized services.
All right, I'll make any questions from any other committee member. If not, I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
The next item in the amount of $15,014,428 is a competitively negotiated miscellaneous service contract with Guardian Service Industries to provide Grand Central Terminal custodial services with an option for engineering services as well. The third and final action for $3 million is a modification to a competitively negotiated personal services contract with Marsh USA, Inc. to replenish funds to cover master broker services and claims recovery services. I submit these two items for your approval.
Kavesh, not to slow down the meeting, but it's a little kind of, I'll say it's funny. Custodial services with an option for engineering services. Can you explain that a little bit? What I mean, if we did a procurement for custodial services, why is there an option? I don't understand this for engineering services.
So
when we do a separate competitive thing for engineering services if we need it.
So what we have is the engineering services are related to what it's split between custodial, but the engineering is what we have. We have one company, Guardian, that if there are issues on a day-to-day basis with Grand Central Terminal, if there are issues with the HVAC system, cooling, heating, they need to fix something, and this is on an ongoing basis. So what we have is we have a consolidated service where this company provides that to us on an ad hoc basis, as well as for the maintenance services as well. So it's an overall suite of services provided by one company.
So does the 15 million include that, or you'd have to come back to us if you start engaging them?
It includes that. It includes that, as well as includes an anticipated increase in wage increases, as well as for 2 option years as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions by any other member of the committee? If not, I'll make a motion to approve. Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion on the 2 procurement actions are carried.
Thank you. There are no ratifications proposed for this month. I'm going to move over to the next item. There are no procurements for Metro North and Long Island Railroad this month. I will move over to New York City Transit. There's one item for New York City Transit, and it is a competitive procurement in the amount of $64,436,289 to New Flyer Incorporated to furnish and deliver 60 low-floor, 40-foot all-electric buses and related items such as spare parts, special tools and equipment, diagnostic testing, technical documentation, and training. I submit this item for your approval.
Any questions by anybody on the Finance Committee? If not, I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion is carried.
Thank you. There are no items for bridges and tunnels, and there are no items for FMTAC. This concludes the procurements for this month. Back to Mark Young. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavesh. Section 11, consolidated reports. They're all included in the book on pages 60 to 114. Staff is available to answer any questions on those. Hearing none, we will move to the real estate portion of the agenda. David Florio.
Thank you, Mark. Mr. Chairman, real estate has 4 action items for consideration and approval. There are 2 action items for Metro North. The first is an extension of the board policy suspending the fee schedule for events in Vanderbilt Hall and Grand Central Terminal that was adopted a year ago. The second is a license with Walks LLC for retail space to provide tours, guided and unguided tours in Grand Central Terminal. The third item is for MTA. It's a lease amendment with SL Green for office space at 420 Lexington Avenue to support an MTA Police Department training facility. And the fourth and final item is a Long Island Railroad action item for the approval of the renaming of the Elmont Station to Elmont UBS Arena. There were also 5 information items. I'm happy to answer any questions regarding any of the foregoing.
Does any member of the Finance Committee have any questions?
Mr. Chair, I just have to recuse myself from the UBS Belmont
All right,
naming.
duly noted. I'll make a motion on all 4 real estate action items. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 4 real estate action items carried.
Thank you.
That's it with the real estate. Next, we're going to enter into, is that still, we're going to still enter an executive session? So I need a motion, no? We're not going to enter an executive session. So strike that. Okay, now I need a motion to adjourn the Finance Committee meeting. Second. All those in favor, I assume the adjournment is in favor of that, so the Finance Committee is adjourned. Thank you.
Quickest finance.